Oh hi. The Republic of Costa Rica, the state in Central America. Borders on two countries. Nicaragua in the north and the Republic of Panama in the southeast. The Pacific Ocean washes coast from the south and the west and the Caribbean Sea from the east. Even by the standards of Central America, Costa Rica, the small country, only two countries of the region, El Salvador and Belize, have the smaller area, and two, Panama and Belize, the smaller population. At the same time, on the standard of living among the Central American states of Costa Rica takes the second place, conceding only to Panama. The capital of Costa Rica, the city of San Jose, 288,000 inhabitants. Despite the arrangement, Costa Rica is mainly white country. Costa Rica is the only thing in all America the neutral state, in 1948 completely refused use of army. Since then the police remain the only law enforcement agency in the country. The crime rate is rather low. The country is considered one of the safest and rich in Latin America. Costa Rica was discovered in 1502 by Christopher Columbus during his fourth travel to America. The Spanish colonization began approximately since 1530. Settling by Spaniards and economic development of this colony went very slowly, partly because of difficulties with climatic conditions of the country and also because of attacks of the English and Dutch pirates. They supported government of England and Holland, attacking Spaniards since the end of the 16th century and up to the middle of the 19th century. British also organized attacks to Costa Rica of Indians Mosquito from East Coast present Nicaragua. Besides, colonialists had no incentive in connection with the low content of gold in lands of the subdued Indians. In 1560, the 1570th year's tribes of Utah and Abribra weren't still finally conquered by Spaniards. The territory of the western Utah stretched to the Pacific coast. A governor they had Garabito, and the governor East El Barco. In the 16th century, the Spanish settlers occupied the central plateau of Costa Rica, where before, as however, and in all territory of the country, the Indian population was small. Minerals and climatic conditions led poverty of the country to the fact that in Costa Rica poor immigrants from Spain lodged in the basic that led to creation not of large plantations, as in other colonies of Spain in America, and small-scale or average enterprises. These small-scale enterprises grew up wheat, corn, sugar cane, tobacco, haricot, cocoa and some other cultures. In 1808 to Costa Rica the first saplings of coffee trees were delivered from Cuba, and soon this culture gained big distribution. Black slaves to Costa Rica were almost not delivered, because of poverty of small-scale enterprises. However, some number of blacks and mulattoes lodged in the country, generally on the Atlantic coast, from runaway slaves and pirates. The main number of the black population appeared on the Caribbean coast in connection with construction of the Inter-Ocean Railroad in 1868-1870. In 1563 Spaniards founded the city of Cartago, which was the colony capital up to obtaining independence.
At the beginning of the 19th century in the Spanish colonies, liberating wars which practically didn't concern peaceful life of Costa Rica began.
In 1814 the province of Guanacaste, which belonged to Nicaragua earlier, voluntarily joined Costa Rica. On July 25, 1825 accession was confirmed on a local referendum. This day became one of national holidays.
The holiday carries the name Accession of Party Nicoya, as the decision to join Costa Rica belonged to the large party which separated from Nicaragua.
On September 15, 1821, the Independence Day of Costa Rica. This day in the Governorate-General Guatemala, the Act of Independence of Spain was signed and distributed to all nearest colonies. The horse messenger jumped to Costa Rica 2 months, then the country learned about the independence for which it didn't strive politically. Soon she united with other countries of Central America.
By Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua and El Salvador in federation, it was also attached to the Mexican Empire, after which crash the federation existed till 1838.
In 1844 the first constitution is adopted.
In 1856 the American adventurer William Walker, who seized power in Nicaragua and declared himself the president, decided to attack Costa Rica.
The way blocked him hastily collected military group of volunteers.
Costa Ricans expelled Walker from the territory and pursued him to the Nicaraguan city of Rivas, where there was the well-known fight in which the national hero Juan Santamaria Costa.
During the period from 1859 to 1870 several presidents were replaced. In 1871 the President Tomás Gutiérrez adopted the new constitution, which abolished the death penalty and encouraging foreign investments. The American company, United Fnut, began expansion to Costa Rica, buying up the earth. This company organized in Costa Rica large export production, besides coffee, also bananas, cocoa, pineapples and other cultures. The company also built network of the railroads in Costa Rica. In the 1930th years the left movements gained strength. On the other hand, supporters of pro-Hitlerite orientation created Nazi Party of Costa Rica. In 1941 Costa Rica, as well as the majority of the countries of Latin America, declared war to the countries of Axis, but was only involved in fighting, having sent several pilots to the front, as a part of troops of France and the USA. In 1948-1949 in Costa Rica there was a civil war. She made so deep impression on the country that the law on cancellation of regular military forces was adopted. Since 1948 in Costa Rica doesn't exist armies, only police. In 1955 the former president with the supporters organized military invasion into Costa Rica. He was supported by Batista, the dictator of Cuba, and other dictators of the region. José Figueres Ferrer, the president of Costa Rica, addressed an ode on it. Invasion stopped. In the 1970th years, in connection with falling of the prices of coffee and increase in prices for oil in the country, there was an economic instability. At the same time the country continued to remain the stablest in the Centroamericanski region. In 1979 the president of Costa Rica Rodrigo Carazo Odio originally supported Sandinistas in Nicaragua. Soon there were first left guerrilla groups in Costa Rica, probably inspired by success of Sandinistas.
The opposite far-right trend was consolidated in the Movement of Freedom of Costa Rica, which created assault groups for fight against communism and Sandinism. In 1990, Calderon, whose father was a president earlier, was elected the president of the country.
On March 19, 2009, the president of Costa Rica, which was considered before as one of right aircraft carriers of the USA in the region,
Oscar Arias, said that his country resumes the communications with disgraced Cuba interrupted nearly 50 years ago.
Oscar Arias is a Nobel Peace Prize laureate. On February 7, 2010 it was chosen, and on May 8 Laura Chinchilla, the woman president, the first in the history of the country, officially entered a position. Since May 8, 2014 the president was Luis Guillermo Solis, the representative of Civil Activity Party. Partido Acción Ciudadana,
which for the first time for all history of the country replaced two parties which were traditionally governing earlier.
Party of Social and Christian Unity, Partido Unidad Social Cristiana, and Party of National Release, Partido Liberación Nacional. On May 8, 2018 Carlos Alvarado Casado became the president. Costa Rica, one of the smallest countries of Central America. It is located in a narrow part of the isthmus connecting two continents. In the southwest the country is washed by waters of the Pacific Ocean, in the northeast the Caribbean Sea. The coastline extends on 1290 km. Tupac, where rivers Ease and Reventisen Ease perfectly are suitable for rafting and are in the east from the capital of San Jose. A northern neighbor of Costa Rica is Nicaragua, southern Panama. The total area of the country minus 51.1 thousand km, including Cocos Island, Isla del Coco, plus 589,000 km. Territorial waters. Costa Rica is the country reserve. Well, here 74 reserves, where violence of wild flora and fauna is surrounded with mountains and the ocean. The main attractions of the country: national parks, mountain and underwater caves and also falls, picturesque mountain and river valleys, volcanoes. The protected natural territories occupy about 27% of the space of the country here. From the north on the south through the whole country mountain chains last, the central plateau is located between them, here fertile soils, and exactly there lives a considerable part of the population of Costa Rica. The mountains surrounding the plateau, generally volcanic origin, are also active volcanoes. The most known Costa Rican volcano, an active, young volcano Arenal. It is the high mountain of the correct conical shape. At night Arenal is highlighted, and during eruption lights up vicinities. The highest volcano, Irazu, 3432 m. And the highest point, Caripo, 3820 m, is in the south of the country. The Lake Arenal, the biggest of lakes of the country, also has artificial origin. In 550 came from the coast of Costa Rica in the Pacific Ocean the desert island de Coco. Isla del Coco, English Cocos, of 24 km is located. It is the largest in the world officially desert island, and Shakif Cousteau called the island the most beautiful in the world. This wild, untouched a civilization, a place covered with the woods of the jungle. This island is also diving center. Annually there come thousands of tourists from around the world to plunge into crystal clear waters of the ocean. Except the Coco, in Costa Rica there are other desert islands, Negritos and Los Payares. Climate of Costa Rica subequatorial. Strongly cross-country terrain creates a big variety of climatic conditions. On the Caribbean coast and on east slopes of mountains the plentiful rainfall. Places up to 300 May a year. Brought by northeast trade winds drop out. In most part of year there is hot, rainy weather. On lowlands the average temperature of January, +23 C, July, +25 C. On the Pacific coast and on the western slopes of mountains climate less damp. 4 months in a year last a dry winter season there. The woods covered nearly 2/3 areas of Costa Rica. Trees of valuable breeds, red ebony, balsavie grow in tropical forests. This country offers one of the best raznoubrazia of the wild nature on earth. Various types live in Costa Rica, which by the sizes is equal to the Vorenas region. It is about 4% of all plants, insects and animals on earth. The International La Amistad Park. From Spanish, friendship means. Of 250,000 hectares was created in 1979 and located in the southeast of the country, on border with Panama. This reserve conducts the history from 58 years. Its founders, a married couple Vespergav from Sweden, they moved to Costa Rica for studying of the tropical forest and protection him from cutting. Is under protection of UNESCO since 1983. The head of state, the president elected by universal suffrage for 4-year term. Elections of 2018 were won by the candidate from the Party of Civil Action Carlos Alvarado Casada. In National Assembly of 57 dicks which are chosen for 4 years. The main political parties. Following the results of elections in 2014. Party of National Release, left-centrist, 18 deputies. Party of Civil Action, left-centrist, 13 deputies. The White Front, the left, 9 deputies. Party of Social and Christian Unity, right-centrist, 8 deputies. Party of the Libertarian Movement, right-centrist, 4 deputies. Costa Rica is divided into 7 provinces. Provinces are divided into cantons. Cantons -81, they are operated by mayors. The mayor of each canton is elected time in 4 years of inhabitants. Official language Spanish. Many citizens and also black inhabitants of the Caribbean coast speak English. Population 5.1 million. Assessment for July 2020. Annual gain 1.08%. Birth rate 14.8 for 1,000. Mortality 4.9 for 1,000. Immigration 0.8 for 1,000. Infantile mortality 7.5 on 1,000 births. Life expectancy on average 79.2 years. Men and have 82 years 76. 5 years at women. 2020. Percent of HIV positive people, 0.4%. Assessment of 2018. Urban population, 80.8%. In 2020. Literacy -97.9%. According to 2018.
In Costa Rica, highest expected life expectancy of the population in Latin America as of 2018.
80.1 years. The expected life expectancy -80.1 years. Men -77.5 years. Women -82.7 years. The prevailing religion is Catholicism, however, according to data of the University of Costa Rica, only about 44.9% of the population be practicing Catholics. 13.8% of the population, evangelical Christians. 11.3% non-believers and agnostics. 4.3% other religions. Jehovah's Witnesses -1.48%. For 2011. Mormons -1%. Also small Judaic community. Evangelical Christians are presented by Protestant Episcopal Church, the Assemblies of God, the Church of God, Methodologists and Baptists. Under the Constitution of 1949, Catholicism was announced by official religion. The Church isn't separated from the state and is partially financed from the state budget. At public schools of Costa Rica only from the republics of North America, teaching religious disciplines was entered. The Constitution guarantees freedom of worship. At the same time, persons of a ministry can't be elected in legislative assembly. In San Jose there is a Protestant theological seminary where students from various countries of North and South America study. Nevertheless, the movement for disestablishment gradually gained strength. Most of presidential candidates of Costa Rica in 2009 spoke in favor of such measure. Costa Rica actively participates in activity of the Union and OAB. Costa Rica has the right to vote in the Inter-American Court of Human Rights and Institute of the World and in many other international organizations connected with human rights and democracy.
The main goal of international policy of Costa Rica, to stimulate continuous development of human rights as a way to keep stability and growth.
Costa Rica is also a member of the International Criminal Court and the observer in the Non-Aligned Movement. Since 1949, Costa Rica is the constant and neutral state. The economy of Costa Rica is based on tourism, agriculture and production and export of electronics, microprocessors and medical devices. Foreign investors are attracted by political stability, qualification of labor and also tax benefits. DDD per capita in 2016, $11835. The 58th place in the world. The industry. 25% of GDP, 22% working. Production of microprocessors, the food industry, the medical equipment, textiles and clothes, construction materials, fertilizers. Agriculture. 6% of GDP, 14% working. Bananas, pineapples, coffee, melons, ornamental plants, sugar, corn, rice, beans, potatoes. Beef, bird, dairy products. Logging. Services industry -69% of GDP, 64% working. Fuel prices are regulated by the state. At all gas stations the price 1. In Costa Rica there is no uniform minimum wage for all branches of economy. She is installed separately for each branch of national economy. In Costa Rica the highest minimum wage in Latin America. Since January 1, 2021 the minimum wage made from $317,915.58 $519.51 in a month for unskilled workers to $682,607 $23 $1,115.45 in a month for graduates of the universities.
In 2016, the president of the country, Luis Guillermo Solís, at opening of new hydroelectric power station declared that Costa Rica completely passed to renewables. As of 2019, Costa Rica, according to the Index of Perception of Corruption, has one of the lowest corruption level among the countries of Latin America and occupies 44th place in the world, right after Rica.
Export in 2017, $10.81 billion, electronics, medical devices, bananas, pineapples, coffee, melons, ornamental plants, sugar. Seafood. The main buyers, the USA 40.9%, Belgium 6.3%, Panama 5.6%, Netherlands 5.6%, Nicaragua 5.1%, Guatemala 5%. Import in 2017, $15.15 billion, raw materials, consumer goods, the industrial equipment, oil products. The main suppliers, the USA 38.1%, China 13.1%, Mexico 7.3%. The Constitution adopted on November 7, 1949 forbade creation and maintenance in peacetime of standing professional army. Instead of her for protection of the country, Guardia Civil was created. In 2009 Costa Rica won first place in Happy Planet Index. Costa Ricans often call themselves Tico. Tico, a masculine gender, and Tic, Tica, a feminine gender. The word Tico appeared from the suffix of Tico or Tica used in this area. For example, momentico instead of momentito. A phrase of pura vida, faultless life. The main slogan of Costa Rica. The younger generation tells me, reduction from mage. Name means the guy, the dude. In the address to each other, though such address can be apprehended as insult in relation to the senior generation. Mage are a synonym of the word tonto, that the fool means. Costa Rica is proud of the history.
In the territory of the modern country, the Mesoamerican and South American cultures met.
The peninsula Nicoya, located in the northwest, was the most southern area of influence of Aztec culture, at the time when the Spanish conquerors, the 16th century, came. On the other hand, here in Doculum, the period there was original culture, Gran Nicoya. Influence of culture of Achib was widespread in the central and southern regions of the country. However, locals affected the modern culture of Costa Rica only in small degree, as they died of diseases and were exterminated by Spaniards. Meanwhile, the Atlantic coast was populated with the African workers in the 17th-18th centuries.
Many African Costa Ricans occurred from the Jamaican workers who in the 19th century built network of the railroads between settlements of the Central Plateau and the Lemon Port on the coast of the Caribbean Sea.
The Italian and Chinese immigrants were also involved in construction of the railroads. Among Massachusetts media, newspapers and radio are the most widespread. La Nation, La República and La Prensa Libre, the largest dailies of San Jose in Spanish. The Tico Times and Costa Rica Today, the English-language newspapers focus generally on tourists. The State Broadcasting Company, SINART.
Sistema Nacional de Radio y Television, National System of Radio and Television.
Includes Canal 13 TV channel and a radio channel of Radio Nacional. One of the most famous writers of Costa Rica, the author of the first national novels, Joaquín García Monge, 1881-1958. For many years directed the edition of the periodic magazine, Repertorio Americano, 1919-1958. Which was renowned in all Latin America. The noticeable mark in literature of 20th century was left also by the poet Roberto Brines Mizan, 1874-1947. Carmen Lear, 1888-1949.
Prose writers, Carlos Luz Falls,
1909-1966.
Fabian Dobles, Yolanda Oriamuna,
1916-1956. Joaquín Gutiérrez, 1918-2000. Tuquinsa Duncan, Alberto Canas, Carmen Naranjo and the poet Alfonso Chase. Now at the international literary forums the country is represented by the poet Osvaldo Sama. In San Jose, Cartago also irrigate some buildings built in the Spanish colonial style remained. From modern artists the painter, the sculptor and the writer Max Jimenez, 1908-1947. Francisco Zuniga's sculptor. River of 1913. The engraver Francisco Amiguetti. River of 1908. And the painter Rafael Fernandez are most known.
Products from gold of Indians of Edo-Spansky era and also a collection of painting are presented in the Museum of the Central Bank of Costa Rica.
San Jose. Product from nephrite in the Museum of Nephrite.
Opera performances and symphony concerts take place in the building of National Theatre in San Jose with ladders and balconies from the Carrara marble constructed at the request of the Costa Rican coffee barons.
He very took offense at the fact that one of the invited stars of the opera refused to arrive to the country for a performance on the open area. The best European architects, and not inferior at the time of construction to the best similar buildings of Europe. Except him, in the capital there are many small theaters. The National Library in San Jose, founded in 1888, stores more than 175,000 volumes, and the Library of the University of Costa Rica, founded in 1946, at 100,000 volumes. Considerable meetings are available also in national archives. The cuisine of Costa Rica consists, first of all, of rice, fruit, fish, haricot, meat and vegetables.
Local culinary specialists, as a rule, and frequently use spices in the dishes, however to any dish serve usually ketchup or sauces chili.
Costa Rican coffee is considered one of the best in the world, therefore consume it here in large quantities. He moves on a table in small jugs and spreads in tiny cups. Also across all Costa Rica, tea from herbs which is made according to old recipes is popular. The most popular dish in the country is pinto. It is a mix of black haricot and rice with vegetables which moves to meat dishes. Holidays. On January 1, New Year. On February 14, Street. Valentine's Day. On March 8, International Women's Day. On April 11, Day of Juan Santa Maria, the war hero of 1856 of Costa Rica of the minding American mercenaries. On May 1, Day of Solidarity of Workers. On May 24, Day of Cricorino. The third Sunday of June, Day of the Father or Day of the Man. Dia del Padre. On July 25, Day of accession of the former Nicaraguan province of Guanacaste to the Republic of Costa Rica in 1814. On August 2, Day of the Mother of God or Angelic Maiden, is followed by a Massachusetts procession and the God course in Basilica Church in Cartago. On August 15, Dormition of the Teotocos and at the same time Mother's Day. On September 15, an Independence Day of Central America from a colonial yoke of Spain. On October 12, Day of Cristobal Colon, the real writing of Christopher Columbus, and the opening day of America. This holiday is called also Day of Cultures, as it is considered that this day there was a meeting European and radical American, Indian cultures. On October 31, Carnival Holiday Halloween, Eve of All Saints Day. On December 15, Light Festival, an evening carnival in San Jose, Festival de Lalas. It is celebrated on the Saturday, the closest by December 15. On December 25, Catholic Christmas. Music of Costa Rica didn't reach noticeable international popularity. The most known genres of music of Costa Rica are the Aborigensky dancing direction of calypso, which separates from better known Trinidadian calypso, sounding in nightclubs of the different cities, for example in San Jose. The American and British rock and roll, pop music are widespread and are renowned among youth, especially among city youth. While juice, salsa, a merengue, a cumbia and technical anos attract more mature audience. The most widespread tools, a guitar, an accordion, a mandolin and a marimba. A wooden xylophone. Literacy level in Costa Rica -96%. According to the World Book of the Facts for February 2007. One of the highest in Latin America. The share of expenses for education in the state budget is higher than in any other Latin American country. In Costa Rica, compulsory primary education is entered. The most part of high schools gives the general education, but there is also a number of schools of technical and pedagogical specialization. The leading higher educational institution is the University of Costa Rica, founded in 1843 and reorganized in 1940. from other state higher educational institutions mentions Institute of Technology to Cartago founded in 1971, the National University in Heredia. 1973. And the Open University to San Jose having correspondence department deserve. Also in Costa Rica there is a University of the World opened in 1980. Also far. Write comments. Read comments. Interesting people will tell interesting stories. All of good mood and good luck.